Hi there, welcome back to the Cordless Vacuum Guide, and in this video, I'll be comparing the Neato Vac D8 and iRobot's latest product, the Roomba J7 Plus. Neato and iRobot are two pioneering brands in the robot vacuum industry, and this comparison is a perfect segue to see how these two brands are different. And I'll share those in this video to see which option is better. I put these two robots through a grueling series of tests to check their strengths and weaknesses to help you make an informed decision if you're considering any of these two brands. The Neato D8 and Roomba J7 Plus are the latest releases of Neato and iRobot respectively. The D8 is part of Neato's trio of new robots, including the D9 and D10. All three share the same design, dustbin, side brush, and primary brush. Aside from the color variations, it's hard to tell these robots apart. The D8 is the least expensive of the trio, and it has the smallest motor and battery. I have not tested the D9 or D10, so I cannot give you the exact airflow comparison, but I'll post a video once I've tested all three. Neato products haven't changed much with design or features. All models past and present maintain the same design with only minor cosmetic variances. The only major differences are the motor, battery, brush design, and app features we'll look at later. I expected them to release a version with a self-emptying feature, but Neato did not, which is somewhat disappointing since Neato is a big name brand. The Roomba J7 is iRobot's latest release and their first with a front-facing camera. It's their first product with obstacle avoidance and it's the best I've tested so far. This variant is a great example of iRobot's innovation and willingness to try new technology. Before the 900 series, all iRobot products were random navigating options that bounced around and were inefficient. This changed when iRobot launched the 980, which was their first with VSLAM, so it was smarter and more efficient. Then came the i7, iRobot's first with a self-emptying feature, which launched a brand new niche as other brands scrambled to fill the need due to its success. And this leads us to the J7 Plus. This variant shares many of the same components as the i6 and i7, but with a redesigned base station. One similarity between these robots is the smart navigation, as both move in straight back and forth lines. However, their navigational sensors differ. The D8, as with all Neato products, utilize LiDAR that fires laser signals in a 360-degree pattern. One advantage of a laser sensor is its non-reliance on light, and consumers can use it in pitch-dark conditions. The J7 uses VSLAM, combining a camera sensor and SLAM as primary navigational tools. iRobot moved the camera on the J7 towards the front, and this sensor doubles as an obstacle detector to evade objects. So obviously, the J7 is better than the D8 at obstacle avoidance. The Plus version of the J7 comes with a clean base station that empties the dustbin after every run, whereas the D8 doesn't have a self-emptying feature, so consumers will have to empty it manually. It's my biggest gripe with Neato, given the popularity of self-emptying robots. Neato boasts of a wide 11-inch brush roll, nearly doubling the J7's extractors. The wide cleaning path enables the D8 to be a more efficient option per pass, but there were instances where it wedged itself against an overhang in the max setting. It didn't happen regularly, but it's something to look out for if you're considering this robot. However, despite the efficiency advantage, the Neato D8 can only do a one-pass run, hampering this benefit. The Roomba J7 is more thorough. In addition to dirty tech, it can also do a two-pass run. Consumers have several options in the iRobot app with thoroughness, which is absent in the Neato app. So the Roomba J7, with these factors in play, wins this category. Both are decent at navigating around tight quarters. However, the D8 square front puts it behind the 8 ball at moving around furniture, since it's at a higher risk at getting wedged. Fortunately, this wasn't an issue during my tests as the D8 navigating around these chair legs without a hitch. The J7's round frame helps it better move around chair legs, but I notice it hesitating a bit, which is why it is one of the least efficient smart navigating robots available. Next, we'll look at airflow, and the D8 is the clear winner, more than doubling the J7's output at over 19 CFM. However, the J7 is the better performing robot with higher overall averages. One issue with the D8 is the lack of thoroughness, as it only does a one-pass run, whereas the J7 can do up to 2 passes. Add iRobot's dirty tech, and the J7 cleans better overall despite the airflow disparity. The J7 was better at the sand-on hard floor test with a 98.46% score versus the D8's 96.5%, which is a surprise given that the D8 has more power. Both were decent in deep cleaning tests, picking up over 85%. Another surprise despite the airflow difference. And despite having a square front, the D8 didn't do well at cleaning edges versus the J7, as it left more debris on this area. One advantage of the D8's wide brush roll and high airflow is it's better at picking up hair with 94 and 45% from 5 and 7-inch hair strands respectively. It's much better than the J7's 49 and 30% scores. If cleaning long hair is a top priority, the D8 would be better. Despite a smaller battery, the Neato D8 will run longer at 100 minutes versus the J7's 85 minutes. The 15-minute difference isn't much, and the recharge and resume feature somewhat mitigates the limited range. But I wouldn't recommend either for large homes, since both will struggle at map creation in big spaces. Consider a robot with a large capacity battery like the Neato D10, Roborock S7, or the Dream Z10 Pro for larger homes. The latter two have a self-emptying feature, while the D10 does not. The Neato D8 is slightly noisier, topping out at 67.9 decibels at the max setting, while the J7 only produces 63 decibels. Lastly, we'll compare the apps. These robots are compatible with the respective smartphone apps, unlocking all the features. The D8 uses the My Neato app, exclusive to Neato's trio of new robots, with an updated interface over the old Neato app. Unfortunately, it's bare if you look at its features. It has some cool features such as map saving, no-go zones, scheduling, and history tab, but that's about it. Neato didn't retain the no-go lines feature previously available in the old Neato app, which is a head-scratcher for me since this feature helps block diagonal lines, an essential containment option in my opinion. Also, it can only save one map, but Neato says they'll add a multi-map saving feature soon. Regardless, I'd hope they'd add it upon the product release and not make consumers wait. The iRobot app offers a bit more. Like the My Neato app, it doesn't have a live map, but it has features not available in the My Neato app, like clean zones, obstacle areas, more cleaning options, and the option to save up to 10 map levels. The Obstacle Areas tab is a direct benefit from the front-facing camera. It provides consumers the option to mark these areas as permanent or temporary zones. Choosing the former will automatically create keep-out zones. Overall, the Roomba J7 Plus brings more features to the table, like the obstacle avoidance and self-emptying feature. And despite having less airflow, it had a higher overall cleaning averages than the D8 thanks to its more thorough and refined navigational algorithm. In my opinion, it offers better value despite the premium cost. The only reason I'd recommend the Neato D8 is if you don't want to spend a premium on the J7, or if you don't need a self-emptying feature. It's not a bad option, but I feel that Neato has fallen behind Roomba in terms of product development, and these two are good examples of it. If you've made it this far, I'd like to say thank you, and consider giving this video a thumbs up if it's been helpful to you. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified when I've published new comparisons like this. Links are in the description for more information. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.